Watch closely. What happens in the next few minutes is more than a clash of personalities. It's a masterclass in leadership, strategy, and public perception. Every word, pause, and reaction reveals lessons most politicians never get right. Pay attention, because this is the moment that redefines the rules of live political confrontation. It began as a seemingly routine political commentary moment, one that many expected to pass with little fanfare. Ivanka Trump, still a prominent figure in public and political circles, had made a sharp and confident remark, questioning Barack Obama's leadership. Her words, delivered with a polished poise, typical of someone accustomed to media attention, were intended to challenge the former president, casting a shadow over his influence in contemporary political discourse. But what followed was far from ordinary. Obama, seated calmly and observing the moment with his characteristic composure, didn't respond with theatrics or interruption. Instead, he allowed the statement to land, letting the weight of the remarks settle in the room and among viewers. In those few seconds of silence, the tension built a subtle but undeniable signal that a calculated response was imminent. Observers noted that the pause wasn't hesitation. It was strategic, a deliberate moment of reflection to craft a reply that would be precise, impactful, and irreversible. When Obama finally spoke, it was not with anger, nor with defensiveness. His tone was measured, calm, yet unwaveringly firm, signaling authority without arrogance. In mere seconds, he deconstructed the remark, exposing the assumptions and inaccuracies that underpinned it. Every word was chosen to highlight a larger truth. Leadership is measured not by impulsive critique, but by consistent action, integrity, and accountability over time. This was a lesson in political communication, executed live and amplified by the immediacy of modern media platforms. The audience, both in the studio and online, reacted instantly. Camera cuts captured the subtle but telling micro-expressions. A flicker of surprise across Ivanka's face, a brief tightening of her jaw, and the instantaneous realization that the dynamic had shifted. Social media erupted as viewers dissected the exchange, with clips of Obama's succinct rebuttal spreading like wildfire across Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Within minutes, hashtags began trending, and pundits across news outlets scrambled to analyze what had just occurred. Political analysts were quick to note the significance of the exchange. While Trump family members often engage in public disputes, Obama's approach demonstrated a level of mastery rarely observed in live confrontations. He did not merely respond. He reframed the narrative. By emphasizing principles over personality, actions over words, and credibility over theatrics, Obama managed to neutralize the initial attack and convert it into a teachable moment for the viewing public. Ivanka, known for her strategic media appearances, was visibly navigating her next move. But the abruptness and precision of Obama's response left little room for a counter. Analysts pointed out that this was not a matter of debate skill alone. It was a demonstration of political timing, perception management, and the importance of preparation. In live exchanges, seconds matter. Every gesture, every pause, and every inflection carries weight. Obama had leveraged these elements flawlessly, leaving the opposition momentarily unmoored. What made this moment particularly striking was the contrast between style and substance. Ivanka's approach had relied on confidence, assertiveness, and media-savvy delivery. Yet, confidence alone, without the anchor of factual clarity and strategic depth, proved insufficient. Obama's reply illustrated that authority rooted in experience, preparation, and precise articulation can render even the most poised critique ineffective. It was a vivid reminder of the enduring power of seasoned leadership in the age of rapid media consumption. This exchange quickly became more than a simple rebuke. It evolved into a viral political lesson. Commentators dissected every angle, comparing communication strategies, leadership approaches, and the optics of live confrontations. Educational channels and political pundits use the clip to highlight how measured responses, grounded in truth and clarity, can shift public perception in moments that seem fleeting but are magnified by modern media. Even beyond the political sphere, viewers noted the symbolic undertones. Obama's ability to maintain composure, assert control, and convey clarity in a hyper-sure, unpredictable scenario reinforced public confidence in his enduring gravitas. Meanwhile, the moment also emphasized a broader point. The dynamics of influence are not dictated by fame or instantaneous assertiveness, but by preparation, poise, and the strategic use of every second in the spotlight. By the conclusion of the initial exchange, the implications were clear. A single, meticulously crafted response could override a high-profile attack, shaping the narrative in real time and influencing both public perception and media coverage. The lesson was both simple and profound. Leadership is not just about presence, but about the strategic orchestration of knowledge, timing, and communication. Following Obama's sharp, measured rebuttal, the atmosphere around the exchange intensified. Viewers and media alike were quick to recognize that this was not merely a brief television clash, but a defining moment in political communication. Social media feeds exploded as snippets of the live interaction circulated, each clip emphasizing Obama's calm precision against Ivanka Trump's initial challenge. The virality of the moment was instantaneous, a testament to both the stakes of live media and the public's appetite for raw, unfiltered political confrontations. Ivanka, known for her media acumen and ability to maintain poise under scrutiny, faced the unexpected reality of being publicly outmaneuvered within seconds. Analysts noted that the challenge was not her delivery or confidence, but the substance behind Obama's comeback. By appealing to principles of leadership, accountability, and historical context, Obama reframed the narrative. What had been a critique aimed at undermining his legacy became an inadvertent showcase of his enduring credibility and communication mastery. Newsrooms scrambled to cover the fallout. Headlines ranged from Obama silences Trump's critique in seconds to live political masterclass. Obama responds to Ivanka. Political commentators dissected the verbal exchange with meticulous attention, highlighting how a single, well-constructed statement could shift public perception instantly. Media coverage emphasized not only the content of Obama's reply, but the delivery, the calm tone, the careful phrasing, and the unflappable demeanor that contrasted sharply with the intended attack. Public discourse mirrored the intensity in media coverage. Social media users analyzed every nuance, breaking down pauses, inflection changes, and nonverbal cues. Twitter threads spanned thousands of comments, with viewers debating the implications for both political legacies. Many highlighted the symbolic nature of the exchange, noting that while Ivanka Trump had the platform and visibility, Obama's response leveraged the deeper authority of experience and measured insight. It became clear that preparation, context, and composure often outweigh raw assertiveness in moments of high stakes. The escalation was not limited to online commentary. Political analysts highlighted that moments like these can influence broader narratives, including voter perception, media framing, and political influence. Obama's precise communication demonstrated how effective leaders can utilize live scenarios to not only defend themselves, but also educate and shift public discourse. Each element of his response, from choice of words to timing, reinforced the authority and credibility that had defined his career, while simultaneously constraining the narrative power of the opposition. Meanwhile, Ivanka Trump's team moved quickly to manage optics. Interviews and statements attempted to reframe the exchange, emphasizing confidence and public visibility. Yet, the instantaneous spread of the viral clips made it difficult to redirect perception entirely. Analysts pointed out that in the age of rapid digital amplification, the first impressions often solidify faster than corrective messaging can take effect. The lesson for public figures was evident. Preparation and factual clarity are critical in any high-visibility interaction, particularly when history and reputation are on the line. The public's fascination with the exchange also reflected a deeper engagement with political strategy. Observers noted that what might have seemed like a brief, televised moment had profound implications for understanding leadership dynamics. By maintaining calm and responding with substance rather than emotion, Obama illustrated the enduring effectiveness of principles-driven communication. His approach served as a live demonstration of how authority, credibility, and messaging intersect in shaping public discourse. At the same time, the incident generated conversations about media responsibility. Journalists and commentators debated how live exchanges are presented, how sound bites can amplify or distort perception, and how audiences interpret moments of confrontation. Obama's methodical response was often contrasted with the spontaneous critique from Ivanka, illustrating the power imbalance between considered strategic messaging and reactive commentary. These discussions underscored the evolving nature of political engagement in the digital era, where seconds of content can reach millions instantly. Beyond the media and public reaction, the exchange sparked reflection on leadership itself. Experts emphasize that leadership is not merely about presence or confidence. It is about knowledge, foresight, and the capacity to communicate under pressure. Obama's ability to transform a potential attack into an affirmation of principles highlighted the depth of strategic thinking that underlies effective leadership. The moment was more than a rebuttal. It was a case study in influence, timing, and credibility. By the end of this initial wave of public reaction, the broader implications were unmistakable. A single, sharply delivered statement could recalibrate perceptions, dominate narratives, and become a reference point for political discussion. The clash, while brief in duration, had enduring impact, solidifying Obama's reputation for strategic clarity and demonstrating that, in the arena of public scrutiny, substance and preparation can decisively outperform mere audacity. As the immediate shock of Obama's swift and precise response settled, analysts and viewers alike began to explore the mechanics of the exchange. What made his rebuttal so devastating was not merely the content of the words, but the meticulous construction of the moment. Every pause, every inflection, and every carefully chosen phrase contributed to a performance that was both commanding and educational. Observers quickly labeled it a masterclass in political strategy, a blueprint for how to handle high stakes live confrontations with elegance and authority. The political commentary world dissected the encounter with almost surgical precision. Experts highlighted that Obama's response had adhered to a three-pronged approach: factual reinforcement, moral authority, and rhetorical timing. By anchoring his rebuttal in verified historical context and emphasizing leadership qualities over emotional retorts, he effectively neutralized the initial challenge. Each word reinforced credibility, while simultaneously exposing the superficiality of the critique. Social media played a pivotal role in amplifying this moment. Within moments, clips of the exchange circulated across platforms, generating millions of views and sparking heated debates. Analysts noted that the virality was not accidental. In the age of digital news cycles, concise, impactful moments are amplified exponentially. The efficiency of Obama's delivery made it highly shareable, turning a live rebuttal into a viral political lesson. Hashtags referencing the exchange trended globally, and media outlets ran extended coverage, analyzing not only what was said, but how it was said. Ivanka Trump, who had initially approached the segment with confidence and assertiveness, now faced the challenge of public perception. While her message was clear, the response had shifted the narrative entirely. Strategists observed that moments like these can redefine reputational standing within seconds. The episode demonstrated that even seasoned public figures must account for the unpredictable consequences of live exchanges, particularly when dealing with opponents known for poise and strategic clarity. The incident also highlighted the critical intersection between leadership and communication. Obama's ability to convert a direct challenge into a teaching moment underscored the power of methodical thinking under pressure. His response did not merely defend, it elevated the discourse. By illustrating the values of accountability, foresight, and measured reasoning, Obama provided viewers with a framework for evaluating leadership beyond superficial soundbites. This elevated the encounter from a simple clash to a broader commentary on the qualities that define effective political authority. Furthermore, the broader political implications became evident. Analysts noted that moments like this influence public sentiment, shaping narratives not only about the individuals directly involved, but about the principles they represent. Obama's response reinforced his long-standing image as a thoughtful, deliberate leader, capable of commanding respect, without resorting to theatrics. Meanwhile, the initial challenge from Ivanka Trump, despite its intent, highlighted the limitations of rhetorical confidence when not supported by substantive preparation. Educational outlets and political commentators began using the clip as a case study. University courses in communications, leadership, and media strategy analyzed the encounter, noting how carefully calibrated pauses, tone, and phrasing can magnify impact. Students were asked to identify the elements that turned a fleeting exchange into a lasting lesson on credibility and influence. The convergence of practical demonstration and theoretical analysis showcased the enduring value of strategic communication in real-time public settings. The public, too, was deeply engaged. Online discussions were dominated by breakdowns of microexpressions, timing, and rhetorical devices. Memes, GIFs, and highlight clips proliferated across platforms. But beneath the viral content lay a genuine interest in understanding why Obama's response resonated so strongly. Viewers recognized that in the age of instantaneous media, the ability to command attention while maintaining factual clarity is a critical skill, one that can decisively shift public perception. Meanwhile, political insiders reflected on the long-term implications. The incident illustrated that high-visibility interactions can influence broader narratives, affecting public opinion, media framing, and even intra-party dynamics. Obama's strategic handling of the moment served as a reminder that preparation, situational awareness, and the capacity to frame an argument effectively are essential tools for any public figure operating on the national stage. As the conversation unfolded in both media and social discourse, the takeaways became increasingly clear. Leadership, credibility, and effective communication are inseparable in moments of live confrontation. A single, well-timed sentence can not only silence an opponent, but also teach, clarify, and elevate the public's understanding of the issues at hand. Obama's response became a defining example of this principle in action, leaving an indelible mark on political media and public consciousness alike. By the end of this wave of analysis, it was evident that the exchange had transcended its initial context. What had started as a personal critique evolved into a study of strategic brilliance, a reminder that in politics, as in life, composure, clarity, and foresight often outweigh assertiveness and confidence alone as the immediate shockwaves of the exchange reverberated through media outlets and social platforms. The lasting impact of the confrontation became increasingly clear. Obama's calm, commanding response had not only diffused the initial challenge, but had also set a benchmark for political communication in live scenarios. Observers noted that moments like these can define a leader's legacy, influencing public perception and establishing a model for strategic discourse in the hours following the live segment. Media coverage continued to expand, Clips were replayed across cable networks, digital news platforms, and social media channels. Each iteration emphasizing the effectiveness of Obama's measured rebuttal. Analysts dissected his tone, timing, and phrasing, illustrating how a single, well-constructed response could dismantle an argument that initially appeared formidable. This analysis extended beyond partisan boundaries, earning praise from commentators across the spectrum who recognized the tactical precision at play. Ivanka Trump, meanwhile, faced a critical moment of reflection. Her approach had relied on assertiveness and media visibility, but the viral nature of the clip demonstrated that public perception can shift in seconds. Political strategists emphasized the lesson that while confidence is important, credibility and preparation are often the decisive factors in high-stakes confrontations. Every public figure, regardless of experience or visibility, must consider how their words will resonate under scrutiny. Public reaction remained intense, with commentary threads and social media discussions dissecting not only the verbal exchange, but also the subtle elements that contributed to its effectiveness. Observers highlighted Obama's ability to maintain composure while delivering a precise, principle-based response. This combination of authority and clarity allowed him to control the narrative, redirecting attention from the attack itself to the broader context of leadership and accountability. The exchange also generated discussions about the broader implications for political discourse in an era dominated by rapid news cycles and instantaneous commentary. Moments like these can have outsized influence. Analysts noted that the ability to respond with substance rather than emotion distinguishes effective leaders from those who merely react. Obama's approach demonstrated that clarity, preparation, and rhetorical precision can transform a potential challenge into an opportunity for demonstrating leadership and reinforcing public trust. Educational and professional circles quickly recognized the significance of the moment. Communication experts, leadership coaches, and political analysts began using the clip as a case study, illustrating how strategic thinking and situational awareness intersect to shape outcomes. Universities incorporated the segment into courses on media strategy and leadership, highlighting the power of composure, timing, and evidence-based argumentation in live settings. The incident became a reference point for anyone seeking to understand the mechanics of persuasive communication under pressure. Simultaneously, the broader political ramifications became apparent. While the immediate exchange was personal, the underlying dynamics reflected larger trends in political communication and public perception. The incident underscored the importance of accountability, preparation, and the capacity to navigate high-visibility situations effectively. Leaders are not only evaluated based on what they say, but on how they respond when challenged, a principle that extends far beyond any single segment or confrontation. Over time, the conversation expanded to include lessons for both politicians and the public. Analysts emphasized that moments like these reveal the critical role of evidence, clarity, and consistency in shaping opinions and guiding discourse. By demonstrating a careful, informed, and confident response, Obama reinforced the principle that leadership involves more than appearances. It requires substance, foresight, and the ability to communicate effectively in real time. As the segment continued to circulate, commentators noted that the exchange had lasting consequences for public understanding of both figures. Obama's reputation for measured authority was reaffirmed, while the incident served as a cautionary example for opponents attempting to leverage visibility without sufficient preparation. The broader lesson was clear. In high-stakes public interactions, credibility and strategic execution outweigh raw confidence or momentary assertiveness. By the conclusion of the conversation, it was evident that the encounter would be remembered, not for the confrontation itself, but for the clarity, authority, and insight displayed under pressure. The viral nature of the exchange highlighted the power of thoughtful principled communication setting a standard for political engagement. In an era dominated by rapid media dissemination,